Damn! Diium. No, this Diium. Yeah, this guy, Diium. So, guys, you know when I get excited, and I have one today. This brand, which started out as SZ Deer, whatever, is now become Diium. And we first saw them with a mostly forgettable 3.5-inch vertical we reviewed, but then they had the 2.8-inch D28S that we thought was pretty good and decent. Now we have a metal premium handheld, which we like a lot in the slab form factor. Now, let me get this out of the way in case you don't want to watch the whole video. Please watch the whole video. But this thing is priced wrong. Right now, it's priced wrong, and that's a big problem with it. But there's a whole lot I like about this, and I want to talk about it. So we're going to unbox it and review it. Remember to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss an episode of our awesome content. But let's get right down into it and look at the Diium D50 Plus. Sorry, I was a little over top. This summer, sure, you could go see that guy that flies in the pajamas with the blue and red. What's his name? But why do that? Come see the best movie this summer. Come watch Captain Inevitable, the hero who, despite knowing he could do something, always says, oh well, that's inevitable. Brought to you by Deadfred Studios. So, no, wait, that's not a real comic book character, and I don't have a studio. Hey, Deadheads, welcome back to the channel. Or welcome to the channel for the first time, new Deadheads. Today, we're going to take a look at the Diium D50 Plus Metal Android Handheld. Let's get open. All right, as always, we're going to start with the box. And the box here is nice and attractive. It does have a picture on the front. They have the blue model on the front. It's got a nice texture to it. It's slick and it feels a little bit raised. We do have the eye protection. It is a 280 by 720, so a 720p. Some of the listings had this incorrectly as a 1080p, but this is a 1270 by 720, 1280 by 720p panel. It's got multi-touch. It is the Diium brand here. At the bottom here, we do have a list of the things. We'll look at this. We've got a metal body, which I'm very excited about. It has 2.4G wireless, HDMI output, simulators, 2 memory cards, again, 1280 by 720. It can play in P3 and P4, and it is a quad-core Rockchip 3566. Looking around the side of the box, we have the Diium logo on the side and not much else. We do have the game console as well. And moving to the back of the box, we have a picture of all 3 units, along with some more information that is mostly all in Mandarin or Chinese. Anyways, let's get this thing open and look inside. And this is a very nice box as everything falls out. And the first thing we have here is a screen protector. And it is a nice screen protector matching the premium quality. This is not flimsy, so it is a nice tempered screen protector. We do have our little bit of wipes right there. And then we have the manual and the user manual here for the D50 Plus. It is in English and Mandarin. And it looks like it has some useful information here, especially since we're dealing with Android. It's always good to have that. It's got some remarks and warranty information about it. Nothing fancy with the manual here, just some good stuff. Moving deeper below, and underneath, we do have our USB-C cord. Now, the USB-C cord is our standard USB-A to C, so no surprises there, and there's nothing underneath the rest of that. So, standard packaging with at least a good tempered glass screen protector given to us. But let's get the handheld out of here because that's what we're really excited for. Hey guys, sorry to interrupt the video, but I wanted to take a moment to talk to you about something sent to us by our friends at MechDiy. So they sent us over an amazing card. It is the Surwish 256 gigabyte card for your Miyoo Mini Flip. That's right. If you want to have just a pre-set up experience with the games properly scraped with an amazing custom firmware that they created, then check out the link at the bottom here and get your own version of the Surwish OS for the Miyoo Mini Flip. Now, I've been playing this and testing it out, and it has a bunch of awesome themes. It's got everything set up easy to go, and it is based on a version of CrossMix. So, yes, this is awesome. I do highly recommend this. And again, if you already have the Flip, you can simply buy the card, or you can buy the card with the Flip itself. Again, hit the link at the bottom. We want to thank our friends at MechDiy for sending this over for us to look at and test. But yeah, this Surwish is awesome. Also, check out the open source firmware at the GitHub. If you would want to set it up yourself, you can do that as well. Anyways, back to the show. Last year, we took a look at a really surprising metal handheld, the CB Chip Blueprint 408. And while I no longer have that handheld, I sold it off to some issues with it. We were really impressed by the price to performance. It was a well made metal handheld, and metal handhelds usually are well made, but it also was a Rockchip 3566 that had a version of Android on it with a decent sized screen, in that case a 4.7 screen. We thought it was a really nice device that had some problems, such as some of the units were not working with their touchscreen as they should have. Some of them didn't power on. There were quality control issues. It was from a very super unknown brand at the time, but it was a good start. Well, there was also last year or the year before the Pimax Portal, and that was a handheld that I found to be very favorable, but didn't get a lot of good reviews, even though it has the same CPU in it that you can now find in the Retroid Pocket Flip 2 and the Retroid Mini and the Retroid, 5. It's the same CPU essentially, just tweaked a little bit. But that handheld didn't get the attention, mainly because of the D-pad, I think. But I liked it quite a bit. So what if you had a marriage between the Pimax Portal and the CB408? You would get this guy. And that is what we have here. No, these are not detachable, much like the Pimax Portal Retro that did not have detachable. But this thing is in a slab form factor. You guys have heard me say that one of my favorite handhelds still is the Pocket S. I love the long, slim form factor. That's why I like the Pimax Portal, and I like this handheld quite a bit. So getting this out of the box and filling this is very comfortable, and it is heavy. This thing is solid. This is not using the newer magnesium plastic mix, which are a little lighter like we've seen. This is more along the lines of like my KTR1 Pocket. This is a heavy metal aluminum shell, which feels really good and solid. I feel like if I drop this thing, it's not going to even take a dent unless it hits something super hard. But if you drop this on the carpet or maybe even a wooden floor, it'd probably survive. Now, as always, let's start testing the buttons. And the first thing is there's this nice carbon fiber design underneath glass just around the points where you have your controls. I think it's a nice touch that screams premium. It feels nice. It's not glass everywhere, but it is right there. These buttons, the buttons are nice. I do like the buttons. They feel good. They're the clear kind. I wish that they were a little bit taller. They're a little bit shallow for me, but they have a nice travel distance. They don't stick, and they're independent. So these are really decent buttons. Again, sitting on this really nice looking carbon fiber back glass, whatever you want to call this. Moving on to the D-pad, and we get to the first little bit of an issue. My D-pad feels a little sticky. It doesn't pivot real well. So far, the weakest thing on this is the D-pad. It's not terrible, and as you see, as I'll show some footage later, I was able to Hadouken. I was able to play the game. I was able to get the movements I needed, but I've been using maybe some really good D-pads lately, and this one just sticks out a little bit because it's loud, clicky, and it's kind of sticky. Loud, clicky, and sticky. So going to the sticks, while they look like Switch style sticks, actually surprise me. These sticks are really good. They have a really good range of motion on them. Now, here's problem number two. I don't know why, but I could not get the sticks to click. I could not get the software to register. They do click, so I don't know if just my unit is broken or if this thing just doesn't have L3 and R3. So I'm not sure. I've only seen one other review of this, and I didn't see it mentioned. So maybe it's just my unit, but I just couldn't get L3 and R3 working, which made me lay sad. But the sticks themselves have a great range of movement. The height of them's good, and the size of them, while a little bit small, are pretty good. Now, the CPU in this thing is a Rockchip 3566, so you're not going to do some really great streaming on this, but you have ports, and so these sticks come in handy, and it's good to have them. I wish that my L3 and R3 worked. Moving up to the shoulder buttons, and boy, these are a delight. Quiet, very quiet shoulder buttons. They're in the stat configuration, which makes pocketability a little bit difficult because they do stick out. But boy, I like these shoulder buttons. They're very easy to click. They're not very loud at all. They're very quiet, and that is a good thing. I wish this was analog. This is not an analog, but that's okay. The rest of the handheld, looking at, you have a start, select, and menu button on the front. Moving to the top, you have your power button. You do have an HDMI out, so you can hook this up. And then you have your volume plus and minus on the top. Looking around the sides, there's nothing on the sides. Moving to the bottom, you have two USB-C ports, one for OTG DC and an extra for USB, and then two TF card slots. That is another great thing about this. Looking at the back, you have this nice little plastic see-through design right here for gripping, but also for your Wi-Fi signal to get through the metal. This also acts as a funnel for the sound. The sound comes through this as well, even though the speaker sound also comes through the top here. You do have this really nice screen on it. It's an IPS screen. It's not OLED. It's 60 hertz. So it's not as fancy as I wish it could have been. But overall, I like the hardware on this thing, minus the D-pad sticking and my particular issue with R3 and L3 not working. So other than that, I really like this as it turned it on here. So you can see it's a really nice screen here. This is going to be a great handheld for playing PSP. But let's get this thing officially booted up and let's look at it. Turning this thing on for the first time, you're greeted by an overlay that is not terribly great. It is intended to give you a quick start overlay. It's something that looks like they designed. It's kind of like that last handheld I reviewed, the PS Portal looking one. You can get into Android by clicking. They've given you a button on this one to go into Android. Now, their Android implementation looks like the same one we've seen on Game MT machines. I don't know if some software developer is making this, but I never liked that implementation of it. I still don't like it. So in the footage here, I'm going to show you that I did install Emulation Station Desktop Edition for it. I also put the Nova launcher on it because it just wasn't a very good launcher from it. So do know that you're going to have to do some fiddling here unless you just want to use that very usable but kind of ugly and plain looking front end. But having this thing boot into Emulation Station Android Edition is just fine. In playing the games here, I did find that it performs as I would expect for a 3566. I did not open this, but I have no reason to think this is not a 3566. Everything that you would expect to play plays like it does. PSP plays good enough on this thing. There is enough power with 3566 to play PSP at reasonable settings. And because this has the widescreen, it is an excellent machine for PSP. So I found myself playing a whole lot of PSP on this. It also plays Dreamcast somewhat a little laggy, like you would expect from a 3566, especially in RetroArch. But if you get Redream on this, it's going to play a little bit better. So this thing being a 3566 in this panel, you would probably, if this gets enough attention, we might see Linux on this thing. That's what I'd really like to see on this machine is a Linux. It's the same thing I wanted of the CB408, took forever, or maybe even Gamma. Gamma Core on this would be really good since it has 2 gigs of RAM. It would be excellent, actually, if we get Gamma Core on this. But you can install your typical Android software. I have a card now I use with games and everything. And playing through the games, everything felt good. Again, I was able to Hadouken and Shuriken as I show you some Street Fighter versus Marvel footage here on the Dreamcast. I was able to get the moves off. The D-pad, it's not a very, I don't know, it just sticks at times and it could have been better. It's probably the weakest point on this. But this has got a nice screen. The battery life was really good. It's heavy to hold, okay? We got to be honest. This is metal, and the metal does get a little warm. It acts like a heat sink. So playing this on the back, it warmed up a little bit. But I found myself just really liking playing this. Again, I have a weak spot for metal-based handhelds. I love this bronze golden color that it comes in. I'm sure the blue and green is cool, but this is sort of unique. I don't have any other handhelds that look like this, so I really wanted this look of it. The speaker on this is not great. It's a little bit tinny. That's another weakness. So let's review and wrap up what we learned about this. Basically, we have a Rockchip 3566 handheld that performs just like we would expect it to perform. There's no surprises here as far as that goes. It has built-in Wi-Fi. It's got a premium metal build that's heavy, but feels premium and solid in your hand. It does have Android on it. Unfortunately, it has a version that's not real great, but if it can get Gamma Core on it, or if you can install Emulation Station Desktop Edition, have it boot straight into that, it'll be good. We don't have Linux at this point. The D-pad sticks a little bit. The buttons are great. It's got this beautiful design with this carbon fiber backing under this glass piece right here. That's gorgeous. The triggers are awesome and quiet. This thing does feel a little hot when holding it, but overall, I'd say this is a great thing. Now, let me tell you why you shouldn't probably buy this. The price, it's out of range at 3566, even in a metal shell. You know, we had the CB408. That thing could be had for $70, $80. This thing is going for like 160, 150. It's just out of range. There's too many better options, although non-metal, but too many better options in that range. So we would like to see this thing hit that $100 price point at 90, 95, 100, even 110. I think this is a great buy. But above that, it's a little hard. I do like this. I like it a lot, so don't get me wrong. I think it's a really nice handheld. I think this company's coming along. Their evolution is happening. They've got another product coming that I'm a little excited about, a 4-inch one-to-one horizontal, much like the RGB 30, and some cool looking colors. So I think they're on track here. I would like to see this come out, a sequel to this come out with a stronger chip. Now, at the price you're asking, if you put a G99 in this, or you put something stronger, a T820, something, that would have been good. But with the 3566, it just doesn't have the horsepower to really do what you'd want to do with it. So it's got to be under $100, at $100 most. Anyways, guys, I hope you like this review and unboxing of the Diium D50 Plus. I don't know if there's a D50 since this is a Plus. Maybe there'll be a Pro with, again, a G99 or something. Anyways, remember to hug your loved ones and love your hugged ones, because tomorrow is never promised. We'll see you next time, Deadheads. Deadfred out.